guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So today we're going to take a look at some Core Essentials action. Now what I mean is I do have a new belt. I'm actually wearing it right now. I've got to say it really is a very good belt. Once again, I'm not surprised because I have a bunch of Core Essentials belts and I love every single one of them. I've been using them for 5 years. I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. So I'm going to tell you straight up, I love their products. Unless they built something that was a piece of crap, I'm going to tell you, I've never had any issues with anything that they've made. And as a result, I fully support the stuff they make. With that said, thank you for your support over the years, guys. I hope you continue that support. If you could, please subscribe if you haven't, and also share the videos with your friends. I also have a Patreon. If you'd like to join, you can. If not, totally up to you. But let's take a look at the belt. I'm going to actually stand up so you can see it. Hopefully the microphone works and the camera works and all that other stuff. But nonetheless, I'll kind of show you the belt and how it looks in its complete form. Then I'll pull off the outer layer and show you the inner layer. And then I'll sit back down again and kind of go over how everything kind of comes together. So why don't I stand up and show that to you right now? So here we go. This is the complete battle belt. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that you've got your typical Core Essentials belt buckle here. Guys, these belt buckles are solid steel. They're awesome. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, and that's to hold your belt together. Now, you'll notice that I have a small gun, and it's pushed a little bit forward because there is a little surprise on the back. I could adjust this a little bit and kind of slide everything back. I didn't really have too much of a problem getting the holsters on. Just keep in mind, this is an 1 3/4 belt, so you're going to need loops or something that support that. Now, the first one I have here, you can see it's riding on the hip. There's not a lot of movement, not a lot of wiggle on the belt. So I have to say, you know, for a guy like me that doesn't have a big butt, I'm going to tell you, it's riding really nicely on the hips. I have no problems with this whatsoever. So again, to draw the gun, it comes out very easily. And of course, if I can do that, I'm looking at the camera while I do that, guys. But you can see that it doesn't really shift the weight of the belt. I mean, it doesn't even move. Some belts, you'll notice they'll sag one to one side. This one doesn't do that. Now on the back end of this, I actually have my 320. You can see it's also got the Icarus Precision. And one of the things you're going to notice, guys, is that once I put that gun on too, there's absolutely no wiggle, no movement at all with the belt on the hips, and it holds everything compact. Now, if I do a 360, which I'll do my best, you guys can see that everything is held very nicely, no sag whatsoever, and it's right where it's supposed to be, which is really nice. Now this belt, you can see there's still a little movement. So that's why I'm saying for me, I could probably reduce this down at least another 1/2 inch, but keep in mind on the exterior belt, when you cut it, they tell you to go with your pant size. And that's exactly what I did. So for me, maybe I'm losing a little weight, but I could probably lose another 1/2 inch on this just to make it fit a little bit tighter. But I'm not sure I even want to do that because ultimately I'm going to be adding some other products on this belt. So I'd be a little leery making it too small. Again, the belt is very sturdy. The buckle, as always, has the ratchet system, so I will show that to you in a second. But what you can see here is as the belt comes off, and I'm going to actually revisit that in a second. But as you can see, this is the interior belt. Now, the interior belt has a mesh area right here, and what this does is it allows it to expand and contract based on how you're going to use your battle belt or the exterior portion of it. Now, this one here, when you decide to cut this, you have to cut this 1 inch shorter than the actual exterior belt, which is what I did as well. This one I like because it is a little bit more adjustable, so I think it's a good fit when you go 1 inch from where you're at then with the exterior belt. It's pretty rigid. I would not say it's the most rigid belt in the world. It does have a little give, but again, I think for this setup, the way the weight will distribute itself, I think it works really well for this system. So I'm going to now drop down back to my chair, and we'll take a little look at some of the other features of this belt. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deholster or unholster my pistols. If I can get that one out, that'd be great. So let's take a little look at this. So as you guys can see, this is the Battle Belt Core Essentials belt buckle. Again, it is very reminiscent of all their other belt buckles. You can see you have your little, I like to call it the tongue of the belt buckle, because what this does is when it's opened, there are some spikes in here. Now, when you cut everything, you can take a little lighter and make sure there's no unevenness or any kind of strands of material hanging, just to make sure it's a little bit smoother. And then you basically shove this belt buckle on there. You'll notice there's 2 set screws right here. And what you do is the set screws have to be loosened up. This gets pushed on. And then once it's pushed on and completely in, you will drop this little tongue down, and those teeth on the tongue will bite into the material. Then you basically screw on your set screws and make sure everything is intact. So again, this belt buckle is solid. It's not going anywhere. It is fitting great. The one thing again that I said I love about Core Essentials is got to be this, and this is their ratchet system. I think they're every quarter inch you have a different size. So even though you're sizing the belt for the waist size that you want, you still have the adjustability factor involved in that. Again, this is a little bit shorter than the traditional Core belts that I've seen, but nonetheless, I could probably reduce it, like I said, another ½ inch to an inch, and still get plenty of room out of this belt if I chose to gain some weight. Obviously, the rigidity is not an issue. You can see that I have 2 holsters right there. This belt isn't really bending at all. And again, one full-size gun, one I would say it's not necessarily a subcompact gun, but both are substantially heavier, in my opinion, than let's say a regular polymer firearm. And there was actually no movement whatsoever with the belt. You know, when I look at these belts over time, past 5 years, I have to say, I've been extremely pleased with everything Core Essentials has put out. They make solid products. I'm not telling you that because I got paid to do this. I'm telling you because I use them every day. Because I use their products every day, I would tell you in a heartbeat, if you're looking for a good belt to carry your firearms with, whether it's concealability, or even in this case, if you're going to go to the range or you're going to go for a training program, I would absolutely recommend these types of belts. I've had no issues. The ratchet system is, in my opinion, the best on the market. The rigidity, best on the market, and the usability is the best on the market. So if you guys don't mind, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think about Core Essentials belts. What's been your experience? I know there's been a mixed bag for some people, not many people, but some people have had some issues. I'd like to see what has been the response of the customer service. You know, I would think that it would be good customer service, but again, I've never had an issue to report. However, what I would say to you is that every product that I've had seems to be working, seems to be functioning still 5 years later. This is a great addition to the collection of belts that I have from them, and I hope they continue to improve their products as the years go on. So I hope you have a great night, stay safe, and as always, freedom is never free.